I can't hear you. Do you see the little mute button? Do you see how to, it's probably red with the line through it, little microphone?
Sometimes the upstairs is upstairs. Jenna can be on the screen or I can be on the screen, but Jenna doesn't want to be on the screen while I'm talking because it weirds people out.
Oh, that's fair. All right, cool.
I may be an elementary school teacher, but let me tell you, your own child. Wait, what?
And here I'm in this big empty house with nothing in it, including tools or myself hardly. With this epic river, I'm surrounded by extraordinary nature. And I have a camera and I have a projector. And in the middle of this kind of fallout, I received the biggest project of my career to date. It's my biggest idea. It's my biggest sort of funding. It's my biggest space. And
it's not a big space, like square foot wise. This is probably 5 feet by 5 feet, but it's big enough for like a little table and a little chair. And you know, there's an outlet that I can plug in a computer or a typewriter. Mostly I like to write longhand. And what I'm trying to do here is to get out a more expansive theory of economy.
Trying to do is put them all together in Audacity so that I create a song file with all of us singing, because like on Audacity you can have all the different
the layers.
Yeah, all the different layers. And so that's what I'm trying to figure out how to do.
Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. I'll tell you what, I'm becoming a clean freak, and I'm kind of liking it. Get on your clean.
for me, this is an unusual circumstance, probably in comparison to a lot of people, because I don't get a lot of downtime to rinse my brain out. Everything that I make is brand new, totally responsive to my environment, and it's constant. I had started making this series of doors opening to other spaces, and when I started making them and testing them, this week under these circumstances, I had not realized how broadened the cultural implications of what I was already making.
As many people as I've talked to about this, nobody has this theory already, so it needs to come out. And this is the space that it's going to be born in. Well, this space is where it's going to be born in, and then I'm going to get it on paper and get it out there as absolutely as quickly as possible.
Then we do writing in my journal at 9 a.m. And then we do at 9:30 a.m. we do code.org and STEM. Those are the same things. Yeah, we haven't been really doing what's on there, but kind of.
We've been trying to stay close to it.
Yeah, what we've really been doing is mostly all is PE and art and discovery, right, Mom?
Yeah.
This is my whale.
The buttons came undone.
No.
You're just going to have to edit.
There will be plenty of editing.
What are you saying, Amber? I figured it out yesterday.
You can do it.
I can do it.
And as I was preparing it, I realized I had left out a critical electrical component, meaning like the power source to a projector that I'm using to do all of this work that I'm hypothetically working on right now.
Do you want some footage of drywalling?
Yes.
This is the opportunity. Okay, well, let's film ourselves doing some drywalling. Okay, here's my YouTube instruction video, what I learned yesterday. We actually have to first mix glue and water at about a 10-to-1 ratio, and then we mix the drywall. You know what? I'm gonna have to clean up this wall first.
I'm going to use this for a film I'm making.
Yeah, I know that, but I didn't know you were recording it right now.
This is my Muppet freakout. Ah! Ah! Ah!
I feel like every 24 hours, each one of us goes through big decisions, and we keep going through big decisions.
Yeah.
The thing that I keep asking myself is, who do I want to be when I look back at this time period?
Also, I mean, there's going to be a rite of passage for a lot of people. So hopefully we're going to be a lot more conscious of how we can be compassionate and kind in grief with each other, because there's going to be some grief coming. We're all going to know someone who dies. And so, you know, how close they are to you is how much grief you're going to be in, and whether you get hit or not, you're going to probably be supporting someone who got hit. So we're all going to become grief counselors.
You need that coziness, I think, in a time of anxiety. And this is a time of kind of generalized anxiety for so many people. Like, I am really thankful and very, very lucky.
So a friend of mine has cancer and is battling cancer right now in the middle of COVID-19. And I woke up the other day, and one of the chants from the Reclaiming community is the song that you've been hearing, Fires of Freedom, which was written by Starhawk. And it reminded me of a post she had shared about the chemotherapy in her veins. Like they have these ports that they do now where they inject the chemo drugs directly, and it feels like you are being injected with fire in your veins. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a different it's such a different truth of the language in this chant.
For, I think, artists, it's really normal to us to not know how long this is going to take, to not know how long the tension and how big the tension will get until it bursts forth into activity, you know, action, and then harvest, and then only when we're in assimilation phase, which is significantly after the action and the harvest phase, will we know what it meant to us. Mm-hmm. But I like this idea that everybody is in this experience of placemaking. So you're becoming a placemaker, you know, if even when you haven't ever before.
When you start to make a place, you do so from an ideal and a dream and like your previous existing knowledge, and then you move into the reality.
And they're really fragile, like they can break very easily. Oh, and guess what? Actually, when someone tried to drill into it broke their drill. They're hard but fragile at the same time.
I just heard all of these voices singing to her at the same time. And when I was healing up from my hysterectomy, she came and totally like played music at my bedside for me. And because of the pandemic, I cannot offer that same, you know, kind of musical healing. But I was like, oh, that I can layer all of our voices together, and on the full moon send her a recording of literally all of our shared friends singing.
So now I'm just sitting here with all these empty doors into all these crazy spaces and projecting them to make portals to you, to me, to the house, to nature.
And so suddenly, instead of relying on like a general definition, a general value that's set outside yourself, you're really turning inward and saying, okay, what do I need? And what does this person need? And how can we relate through this exchange?
So when I was in New York and 9/11, afterward was the hard part, where we went into 8 million people depressed. And everyone at the time, when we were riding trains and subways together, we're talking more than before. And the normal opener of conversation was, so where were you? My love of that place changed through that. So I think we're going to have that on another scale now, on a global scale of being able to talk to other countries and say, where were you? And who did you lose? And, you know, what's your story? Yeah, I think that's placemaking, isn't it?
Bye.
Bye, Marley. Thank you for sharing your school with me.
Love you.
Love you.
I
Bye.
wish you could come here again this summer. Wait, you can maybe.
Andrew, you too. It's so mutual.
No, I want you to have this.
All right. Good luck with your projects. Take
Thank
care of
you.
you.
And yours. Stay healthy. Let me know if you need anything.
I love you,
Love
and
you
I
too.
have faith in you. And whether this works or something else works, you're gonna kill it at some point with something awesome. I love you so much. Mwah.
Mwah.